molecular
Yes, sir.
biological molecules. Biological molecules. Biological molecules. Actually, we are mainly we will discuss here not the detail of other molecules, but specifically we will discuss some macromolecules, or we also call them organic molecules.
Yes, sir.
Organic molecules. Why they are called organic molecules? They are because they are mostly we obtain these molecules from the living organisms like plants and animals. So major sources commonly we are getting it from uh, plants.
Yes,
Like for example, organic molecules mainly we will discuss here. The one is carbohydrate,
yes, sir.
and the second is lipids, and then you will have here third one, that is proteins.
Yes, sir.
And then we will, at the end of this, we will discuss uh, nucleic acid.
Okay, sir.
Nucleic acid. And here our main focus would be on the structure, because it's a biochemistry. Actually, this topic is actually from biochemistry,
Okay.
where we will try to understand the structure of these macromolecules, and how they are playing their role uh, in the composition of an organism.
Yes,
So
sir.
specifically we will deal with for example, I'm going to start from the uh, simple substance, like, and I think we should try to understand two things more. For example, monomer. There will be a term that we commonly use here, monomer. Monomer. What is this monomer? Monomer is actually it is a unit,
Yes, sir.
not unit which is used for something to show any equation. It is a, you can say, subunit. I can add here subunit so that you cannot confuse.
Yes.
Subunit. It is actually a block,
Okay, sir.
and and this block is actually involved to produce a complete wall. The
Okay, sir.
complete wall will be you can say constructed by using the repetition of these blocks, right?
Okay, sir.
So that's why we call them subunit, or the uh, repeating single units, right? These monomers are actually, oh, what's wrong? Wait a second. Okay. Can you hear me now? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Screen, what starts? Screen sharing starts, right? So, Wait a second, we have to reconnect it, okay?
Yes, sir.
अभी मैंने देखी नहीं ना बिल्कुल ही। आप इसको डिस्कनेक्ट कर दें ताकि वो जी अभी दे
Yes, sir.
रिस्पॉन्ड कर दिया।
सर आपकी आवाज़ बहुत कम आ रही है।
नहीं एक्चुअली स्क्रीन ये लैपटॉप जो है ना रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा है ना। मैं स्क्रीन में कह रहा था कि दोबारा से हम इसको करते हैं तो ये मतलब सब रीजन बहुत कम बैटरी तो नहीं करती जोन।
Yes, sir.
So we were discussing actually how to कैसे चल रहा है अभी पता नहीं. Anyway, so there was a concept that what is monomer. We have discussed it monomer. Screen is there. Can you hear? Okay, you are
यस सर.
screen monomer. So I told you that it is a repeating unit which is actually involved to produce or to synthesize or to develop a polymer or complex structure of any molecule. For example, there is a carbohydrate. We can take an example. We can take an example that, for example, we have. मैंने अभी वो निकाला इसमें से वो मुझे वो मिल ही नहीं रहा. मैंने कहाँ छोड़ दिया. तो वो भी काम नहीं कर रही है. कुछ भी बताएं, क्लास है सर के साथ आज आपकी?
यस सर, इसके बाद क्लास है मेरी.
कितने बजे हो?
सर जी वो 9-10 तक शुरू होती है, 10 बजे तक होती है.
अच्छा, 10 बजे तक. जो है इसके साथ मेरे वो था, मुझे लगता नहीं उसको लैपटॉप के अंदर जिससे ये टैबलेट चलता है. वो मैंने अभी ही निकाला था कि जस्ट ये अभी हैंग हो रहा था. बट नाउ आई एम नॉट एबल टू फाइंड आउट. ये चलना तो चाहिए ना कुछ के बगैर, वो ये काम नहीं कर रहा. ओके, चलें ठीक है. अब देखते हैं. अच्छा, मैं आपसे कह रहा था कि
यस.
इसके बाद फिर हम, मैं जैसे आपको एग्जांपल दे रहा था कि फॉर एग्जांपल हम बात करते हैं ग्लूकोज की। ठीक
यस।
है। और ये ग्लूकोज जो है हमारे पास एक बनता है यहाँ पे, कोई फॉर एग्जांपल कोई भी कार्बोहाइड्रेट है, जैसे कि मैं किसी के कार्बोहाइड्रेट का नाम नहीं आप ले रहा हूँ, तो फॉर एग्जांपल मैं कहता हूँ स्टार्च है, जैसे आप उसमें ग्लाइकोजन क्या है, ये स्टार्च की बात है, देयर इज अ
यस।
स्टार्च, स्टार्च, it is a you can say polysaccharide. It is polysaccharide which is present, which is present uh, in plants.
यस।
So how this starch is going to be synthesized, this is because of this glucose. The repeating unit of this starch is this glucose. By
यस।
the repetition of these this monomer, it is actually a monomer.
यस।
Monomer means one unit.
यस सर।
And then we will commonly use the word polymer. Polymer.
यस सर।
Poly means
सेवरल यूनिट्स।
yes, many units. Right? Poly means actually many. So a long chain of monomers. What is polymer? Polymer is actually the long
लॉन्ग ऑफ मोनोवर्स।
long chain of monomers. So what do you mean by this? It means that this glucose, uh, you can again, is it on recording?
यस सर।
Okay, fine. So now after this monomer, uh, we can also discuss another thing, that is isomer. Isomer.
यस
And what is isomer? What do you have an idea about this?
सर।
Same what?
सेम फेस्ड मॉलिक्यूल।
Same, same. I mean, there are two things in it. No, there is a formula and chemical structure.
यस सर।
So the chemical formula of the compounds will be same, but their structure will be different. Right?
यस।
We can say same chemical formula,
बट डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्मूला।
but different structural formula. Different structural
फॉर्मूला।
formula. Okay. So this is the one thing that we should know. Uh, Now there are two things that we will also discuss commonly here. We should know about these things as well. The
यस सर।
one is hydrolysis, right? This is the one point. And what is this hydrolysis? What do you think?
सर द ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ वाटर टू एक्सट्रैक्ट द हाइड्रोजन आयंस।
Breakdown of water. Yes, you can say hydrolysis mean actually we are breaking some chemical in the presence of water. Hydrolysis, right?
यस सर।
So yes, I mean, it is the breakdown of any substance by using water. I mean, simple molecules from the complex one. For example, in hydrolysis, if you will place this starch into the water, and here this starch will be degraded or decomposed, and to again it will convert into the glucose,
यस सर।
right? And this glucose is actually the simplest substance, or the simplest, because it is a monomer.
यस
Just
सर।
like that, there is a wall, and that is made up of number of bricks. When you will break that wall, so at the end, what you will get a simpler units of those bricks. So
यस
just
सर।
like here, so these substances are working like. So then you have, we will directly going towards the point that is actually what that is uh, carbohydrate. What is
यस सर।
carbohydrate? Carbohydrate. So can you give me examples of carbohydrates, if you know about any carbohydrate that you have eaten right now, today or tomorrow or yesterday, someday? कोई तो होगा यार, वो बता दो यार कुछ तो यार।
सर जी फूड में।
कार्बो, यस डेफिनेटली।
सर कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स में आ जाएगा ये। पोटैटोज आ जाएंगे, इनमें होते हैं ये।
ओके,
स्नैक्स जो होते हैं इनमें होते हैं कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स।
ओके, सो नंबर ऑफ कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स दैट वी कॉमनली, हम चूंकि यूज करते हैं कॉमनली, तो वी शुड हैव एन आइडिया कि is it shared in C3 or not? Okay, let me change it. Anyway, so carbohydrate, we will start to discuss it from the very simple. First, we can discuss uh, its uh, carbohydrate. So, what is its general formula? CH2OX,
ये ओ यस सर।
right?
यस सर।
Okay, so this
यस
is the general formula. Now we are going to study its subclasses, or its because we have divided this carbohydrate based on the number of the glucose, or the subunits in it, or the monomers in it. So
यस
like for example, there is one that is a monosaccharide. They may ask you that differentiate, or for example, it is monosaccharide or disaccharide or polysaccharide. So you should know about the differences. First we'll talk about that is monosaccharide.
यस सर।
No, monosaccharide, right? So
यस
in monosaccharide you have an example of glucose. Remember, it is monosaccharide, it is a simplest unit, you cannot break it further.
यस सर।
You cannot break it further. It is the simplest unit, or the simplest substance which is available in carbohydrates. All right, got it?
यस सर।
Then you will have fructose.
यस सर।
This is also a monosaccharide. Another, that is galactose, right?
यस सर।
And then you will have 5 carbon ribose, which is commonly present in DNA and RNA. Deoxyribose, or the ribose nucleic acid, or deoxyribonucleic acid.
यस सर।
So it is commonly present there. Are you getting this point?
यस सर।
Okay. So these are the monosaccharides. Got it? So
यस
then
सर।
you will have a disaccharide. There are some disaccharides. For example, you have a maltose, right? So
यस
maltose is a disaccharide. What do you mean by this disaccharide? It means it has 2 subunits. This
यस
disaccharide, like maltose, it is formed by the combination of 2 glucose, right? So then you will have lactose. Lactose. And this lactose is actually composed of one glucose, and other one will be galactose. So
यस
here you have the disaccharide, that is lactose. Then you will have sucrose. Sucrose. So these are the examples of disaccharide, right?
यस सर।
Now the last class is polysaccharide. Polysaccharide. So we have many examples of polysaccharide. For example, you have starch,
यस सर।
you have glycogen. All right.
यस
So another example we can add here, cellulose.
यस सर।
All right. So all these are the polysaccharide, right?
यस
So as we know, starch is the, you can say, uh, which is present in plants. So it is the major food of the plants that they synthesize with the help of photosynthesis. Then you will have the glycogen. It is the storage form of glucose in case of animals. It is also called the animal starch. And
यस
then you have cellulose, and cellulose, you know very well, it is the uh, cell, it is the structure which is composed of this, mainly that is the cell wall in case of plants.
यस
All
सर।
right.
Yes.
So I have told you the maltose. Maltose is the combination of two glucose. You should also keep in mind.
Yes, sir.
Uh, for example, here there is a maltose, and it is what? Hmm.
Combination of two glucose molecules.
And what it is actually? It is monosaccharide, disaccharide.
It is a
Or it is disaccharide. So it is the combination of two glucose.
Yes,
Glucose plus glucose.
yes, sir.
All right. So if you have a sucrose, hmm, so what is this?
A disaccharide.
Okay, disaccharide. It is composed of two things: glucose plus fructose.
Glucose.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So then you will have what? Then you will have lactose. I have told you what is lactose and how it is formed. This is
Uh,
these are what? Disaccharide.
Disaccharides.
And these are what? They are monosaccharides.
Yes, sir.
And this glucose is a monosaccharide. Is again you have the fructose is monosaccharide. Now come towards the lactose. So lactose is composed of what? Mhm.
Glucose and galactose.
Galactose. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So this is how these disaccharides are formed, and
Yes, sir.
how these polysaccharides will form. So we will talk about them as well. But here you should know that it is the combination of the repeating units of the glucose. The glucose is repeated again and again in a multiple form, in a multiple numbers. So then
Yes,
it
sir.
will become the a polysaccharide, and that is in the form of starch, glycogen, and cellulose.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and now I hope you should know about the chemical formula of glucose.
So it is a
C6, C6, H12, O6. Get it?
C6H12O6. Yes, sir.
C6, H12O6. Then you will have a galactose. Galactose. Again, 10 minutes. Anyway. Similarly, you will have a galactose. And
Yes.
what would be the chemical formula of this? Yes, 6H4O6.
Yes.
And what is the formula of lactose?
Uh,
Fructose. Fructose. Because we are discussing the right now the monosaccharides. So glucose, then you have the galactose, it is also a monosaccharide. Then you will have the lactose. Lactose is also a monosaccharide.
yes, sir.
So what we are going to infer from here, that is, all these are the isomers of each other, although their structures are different. We will discuss their structures will be different. For example, uh, what is this? Low system resources may affect you. Voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
So, for example, you have a structure. For example, you have the glucose, C6H12O6. So, how you can, because it is normally we will discuss mostly in two forms. One is a straight chain, another one is a cyclic chain.
Yes, sir.
So, here I'm just trying to differentiate it because these are the isomers of each other. And as we know, their chemical formula will be same, but they have the different structures.
Yes, sir.
So in this case, glucose have different structure. How? Like you have this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So, but in this case, you can add here oxygen here, and now this is the carbon. So now important thing is what would be the main difference here. For example, in this case, we have to change we will observe the the position of hydroxyl group and hydrogen, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
in this case, for example, I'm starting from here. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5, and you have a 6 because it's a 6 carbon compound.
Yes.
So So what would be at the position number one? Oh yes, hydrogen OH.
Yes, sir.
Then hydrogen
Mm,
OH. Okay, next. Hmm.
hydrogen.
OH, hydrogen. What is the difference here?
Yes, hydroxyl group is in the
Hydroxyl group is,
inner.
uh, just keep in mind, this is position number one,
Yes, sir.
carbon number three, it means. So
Yes,
this is position number, carbon number three. So at this position, the hydroxyl group and the hydrogen, you can easily observe it's the position of hydroxyl group is different from all other hydroxyl groups which are present in the other carbon atoms,
yes,
right?
sir.
So in
Yes,
this
sir.
case, this is carbon number three. So here you have the OH group, and that is different from all other
Carbon groups. Yeah.
hydroxyl groups, right? Its position is changed here,
Yes,
but
sir.
this is only at position number. Remember, it is only at carbon number three or position number three, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is monosaccharide, and it is C6H12O6. Now draw another structure. Anyone, for example, galactose. Galactose. Okay, you will observe the change here. Again, it is C6H12O6,
O6.
but we will observe one thing here. That is, its chemical formula will be changed. So again here, like this. Here, what will it will be HOH, HOH, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm talking about the galactose. HOH in position number two be HOH, and position number three, what it would be? Again,
See,
OH,
the
H.
OH.
But in this case, here at position number four, you can say
Yes, sir.
hydroxyl group is upward while the hydrogen is down.
Okay, sir.
This is the difference of its structure. So remember, the position of these hydroxyl group and hydrogen, if it is changed on the structure of any structure of the uh, monosaccharide subunit, any subunit, so then definitely their composition will be changed, and as a result, it is possible that function of that structure will also be changed. For example,
Yes.
glucose is very different and galactose is different. Both are performing different functions, although both are
Yes.
sugars, but they have they involved in different processes or different functions, right? So structure matters. At times structure matters. So this is how the monomers are changed here. Otherwise all the structures are the same. You can also add here, for example, draw it's a linear structure of glucose. Hmm. And how you do that? How you will do that? What do you think?
First straight chain of six carbons.
And what would be the change here?
Sir, on glucose, the hydroxyl group will be upwards, but on group 3, but in galactose, in on carbon number 4, the hydroxyl group would be upwards too.
Change. Actually, in this side, we can just say left and right,
Yes,
right? Because in this, in a straight chain, we cannot show the upward and downward stage. No, there we can just show hydrogen will be, for example, at position number three. In case of glucose, at position number three, uh, hydroxyl group will be on the left side while the hydrogen is on the right side.
yes, sir.
All other hydroxyl groups are on the right side. Only at carbon number three, hydroxyl group will be on the
Yep.
opposite side, on the left side.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is how it is changed in case of its chemical structure.
Yes,
So
sir.
are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can also add some other structures here, like there are some other, for example, in case of disaccharide, you can add disaccharide in, like you can add two structures in case of disaccharide, for example, maltose. You can add two glucose with each other. How they're combined with one another? What is the bond which is present here? Hmm. In
Hydrogen
case of carbohydrates, no,
condensation, the
glyco,
glycosidic bonding. Yes, sir.
yes, glycoside. Remember. So if you want to combine these two structures, for example, suppose right now, because we don't have enough space here. So for example, these are two glucose, right? When you will combine them, it is also important thing you should know how they will be combined, how this glycosidic bond will be formed
Through condensation.
through condensation.
Yeah.
And what would be the end result of this condensation? I mean,
So
what will be released here? Water.
water.
How? It means, it means one of them, one of the sugar or one of the monomer will give you a hydroxyl group, and from other side you will get hydrogen,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And they will detach from there, they will form a water molecule, and here you will get a bond which is formed between the two carbon atoms,
Yes, sir.
right? So that is what we call glycosidic bond. So this glycosidic bond is actually present in carbohydrates. All the polymers which are formed by the combination of monomers are the glucose or any other monosaccharides, so they will be combined with the help of glycosidic bond. And remember, we can also keep in mind one thing: number of carbon is also important. It is a question that which one will be from one monomer, and which carbon is involved from the other uh, monomer. So in this case, we always show it, like we will show like here in case of I have told you glycosidic, so it would be, for example, 1,4 glycosidic bond. What do you mean by this 1,4? It shows what?
It's
Position.
carbon one
It
or
shows position. Yes, from one side you are having carbon 1, and from the other monomer you are having carbon number
carbon.
4. So it is also important because somewhere we will also discuss, like there would be a 1 2 glycoside